Sasfin is our market watcher. Well, thanks to Bloomberg, we know that the market was down 1 1/3. We're going to talk to Leanne Parsons from the JSE later on. But it seems to be becoming a bit of a habit now.
Well, it was very difficult if you understand what happened. Or tracker funds couldn't operate, Satrix couldn't operate, the futures market couldn't operate because they had no guidance. But
Well,
Alec,
the Americans were close.
Oh no, but look at your screen. We knew we were down. You didn't have to be a genius.
Yeah.
There was widespread sell-off.
Excepting platinum shares.
Yeah.
They had a good run today.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell why. It's so difficult to read them. I think there's more and more people are now starting to look at gold and in platinum as well. And I think that platinum has started to creep up. Remember, we were down at $700-800 an ounce. We're now 1,062. So, like gold, it's beginning. Precious metals beginning to edge up. Scrap not coming onto the market, and demand is, hopefully will pick up from China.
Group 5 had a good set of results. We're going to talk to Mike Upton later. And we've actually had a new innovation on Money where we, with our market commentators, Imtiaz Ahmed being on a Monday, had a good 10 minutes with him on the phone earlier. That's going to be published on MoneyWeb with a transcript in the next few minutes. But he was very impressed with Mark's results. He actually felt it was time to start buying Group 5. Did you go along with it?
Well, they're trading at 28, 29 rand. They've got a 13 billion order book, still doing very, very well. Construction and civil doing very, very well. I think the building side flattening out a bit, but one could expect that. But what more could you expect from Mike? His margins are up. I don't know why the market is turning so grossly negative. And I watch that sector very well.
It's in a bear market.
Sure,
David.
but we've come back. I think last year this time,
the pessimists are ruling the roost.
When last
Not
year
the
this
Raging
time,
Bulls.
we were 58 rand. What, in September, October? We're down to 28, 29 rand at the moment, and the results have not just.
Your team has left town, Dave.
Unfortunately,
The Raging Bulls are gone.
I know.
Are we going to get a new
know.
nickname for you?
I know.
The Growling Bear.
But somehow the downside's got to be protected with these results. I don't know. Anyway,
Tiger Brands had a small increase after bringing out a trading update. But cheeky, don't you think? After 4 months, now because they're trying to win the AVI
Yeah,
deal.
I think they're positioning themselves for the bid and saying that they'll have real growth as well. I think people are a bit concerned about their prices. Their share price has fallen from about 138 rand down to 130. So I think they may be a bit nervous because this shares will be involved in this
When you
deal.
compare that with Group 5 from 58 to 28.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Some of the big losers today, the Peregrine was down 10%. Mondi, what a horrible trading update from the Paper and Pulp Group.
I think that comes. You can see one could have guessed that on the back of Sappi, but it's an industry under a lot of pressure, and the big write-offs as well that they announced.
Can they survive, Mondi?
They'll survive. Yeah, I'm sure they'll survive. But in fact, I was looking. I was looking at analyst forecasts, and still see some very good dividends coming through in the next 2 years. They don't see earnings growth, but if you bought them at these levels, you're protected by at least a 10% dividend yield for the next 2 years. So I don't know whether the analysts have got their numbers wrong.
Somebody's smoking there because the headline earnings from Mondi for the year as a whole will be virtually half of what they were last year. Now you can't. Unless they're sitting at a 20% dividend yield at the moment, and they're not going to be paying. They're certainly not going to be paying last year's dividend. It sounds a bit strange.
The trouble is, you quickly look at trading updates and you look at results, and maybe these have to be adjusted. But I think the write-offs shook the market.
But there were some other falls that may be a little concerning. Nedbank down 3.5%. Sun International down 4%. It's almost like there's a creeping decline.
Well,
in
the
stocks.
background was Japan's economic growth, which for the fourth quarter came out on an annualized basis at 12%, which was the biggest decline since 1974.
Annualized, not 12%.
12%. Over 12% reduction, contraction in the Japanese economy. Contraction. So, I mean, that's because the yen was so strong, exports fell. And then the Group 5, the G7... G7 came out also with their view on the market, on the economy, saying that
everybody's suffering at the moment, excepting the construction sector. What about iron ore? We are going to be talking to Chris Griffiths from Kumba a little later as well.
It was a very good result. I think costs were a little up, and I think the Warriors, they're increasing production. The Warriors, whether they can sell it and what price. But they seem fairly confident about the outlook. They're declaring all their dividends, so it's a very big dividend that you're receiving. And there again, projections suggest that if you hold a share, you're going to get very good returns. returns. But of course, it's an uncertain market out there.
Comba, incidentally, has dropped in the past year by 44%. So, well, there might be bargains around, but on the other hand, you've got to tread very warily. We'll talk with David Shapiro through the show tonight.